how creativity and purpose helps when losing everything you know. Welcome to You Got the Vocab, the podcast for leaders, visionaries, and my favorite people in the world, entrepreneurs. If you're listening right now and your life took a crazy shift, if you feel like you are losing everything you worked for your entire life, if you know that you have to start from scratch, you have to start over, but you are not sure from where, I want you to stay with me, stay with us, because today my guest is going to show you the way. My name is Muchnicka, I am your host, and today together with Myanmar artist Chuu Wai on Exile in Paris, we are going to bring life and hope into your existence. Hello, everybody. Chuu Wai, my guest, lived through the kind of crisis that usually destroys people. And somehow she made every day by day, the best day she could with nothing but her creativity, her art, and her feminine leadership. This is not a motivation, and this is not going to be a motivational conversation. This is going to be an inspiration. And we are going to blow your minds today with stories and beautiful twists life gives when you refuse to fight and start to live the best life you can with what you have. This podcast is going to give you your future back. And this podcast is also going to be on Spotify, so you can later also listen to it. So I'm going to ask Chuu to... Hello, Chuu.
Hello,
How are you?
I'm good, and thank you so much for inviting me for your podcast.
I'm so happy that we can finally meet. I see that a lot of people from your audience is connecting. I absolutely love your art. Let's start with that. And I recommend everybody go to your gallery later after listening to this podcast. I'm going to present you asking you questions because it's going to be a little story. We're going to take everybody on a journey. And so let's start from the first question. Chuu, take us please to the beginning. When the war started in Myanmar, I want to know, what did you feel? It was 2021 February.
Yes.
And I remember that time very well. I have lived in Myanmar for 10 years, and we met in Myanmar in a beautiful gallery in Yangon. Do you remember the name of this gallery?
Gallery 65.
Gallery 65, a very special place where people gathered when it was not allowed to gather, actually, a long time ago. This was a very beautiful gallery, and you were there. You looked amazing. Your career was blooming. I remember you had such a great career in this world of men artists in Myanmar, and also not so usual to have an artist career in Myanmar in general, but you made it, and you were very young. I remember you are young now, but you were even younger than now. And this is how we met. And since we kept contact, and then the war started in 2022. I want to know, how did you feel? Where did it find you? Where have you been?
I saw some people are watching. Thank you so much. Yes, for artists, like hearing like you left my hour is like amazing, and it's give me strength and to continue and to keep creating. But the journey of the being an artist is not always smooth. So before the coup, I was fighting and keep continue I would say like fighting in my own little world and in my bubble, especially talking about Myanmar women and making a question a lot about tradition and controversial painting. So it was also really interesting moment in my life for my creativity. And one that could have survived like a lot of people, like a lot of Myanmar artists, the way we see to the world, the way we feel, the way we create has a lot of impact as well. So also for me, it has a huge impact as well. But I try not to forget my root, and I also try not to forget where I come from, what is the message I carry. There are more additional experience that has been in our generation, even though I didn't know this will happen in our life, but it has happened. It's out of our control. The only thing what I could do at the time was creativity, which this is in my hand. This is what I can control. This is the only thing I can do. So in 2021 in February, when the coup has happened, I didn't know that. I didn't notice it was coming. It was really shocked. So when I heard that, I was frozen. And I was asking the question like what are we going to do next? What gonna happen next? Because we know in the past, in the history, and through our the generation before, we know what could happen according to them. So, and I know I'm a very stubborn, and if I wanted to talk about something, or if I wanted to create about something, even the parents, even the market, even the political situation, nothing will be able to stop me. I will keep creating, I will talking about it, and in this way I won't live long there. So I think about it. I talk a lot of people who has more experience and who already know a lot more than me, and including art and including the current situation at the time. So there might be a few options what I could do, but the only thing that I decided to do is creativity, and art is maybe my strength. I still can do a lot of other things. I still can contribute a lot in other different way, but by using the creativity, I think this is my strongest strength. So instead of I contributing and using other thing as tool, maybe it might be the best that I use my creativity with is I think this is the best thing I can do, and it is my strength. So I decided to continue to use my artwork and creativity to keep talking about the situation and the situation of Myanmar, the situation of women, and also from my experience for the emotionally, and also from the different perspective as a Myanmar woman, when I see the creativity through the pains, through the pain's eyes, and through the someone who have seen a lot of pains, and someone who carry a lot of different story, and when I see things, I might have some perspective, different perspective. So I also wanted to share this experience.
Let's tell everybody how it was at the beginning, because when the coup started, actually, I think nobody really realized, and young people went on the street, and you were one of them. You went on the street of Yangon, and you did silent protest with candles, with just marching, I believe. And you did something very beautiful with your art there. Can you recall that moment?
Yeah. It's difficult to forget. So yeah, it's been a while that I don't recall about that memory. Yeah, at the beginning, we didn't really see it was coming. So at the beginning, we didn't know how to be part of what should we do with art. And I decided to participate in the every move and every days in every situation what I can be part of with the thing within my limit, with the thing that I can do. But it's always peaceful and non-violent, and most of the times and almost all the time it's always linked with art and creativity. So the beginning of the street and is always connect with the color, brushes, and the paints, and always peaceful way, non-violence way. So the beginning of the protest, me and also some of my friends, we were providing some poster and the slogan where people wanted to hold, and also kind of public art with our hand, and we create it and we show it to show our voice and also helping other people voices. And at the time I got the idea, like, yes, now we are showing our voice, why not document it or the voices of the people. So I also had the people show my like a draft painting, and they were writing on the painting, and within a very short time the painting was full with the hundreds and hundreds of handwriting of the people in Myanmar and full of the voices. And I try to document it every day, and I ask people to participate almost every day. So it's been maybe like you know, at that moment, like every day is changing in within this time frame. So interesting because the voices is changing every day, the situations is changing every day, and the people what write according to the date, according to the situation, is really strong, really interesting. Like we can see a huge move, even the date of the sequence of this painting. So I'm glad that I could create this with the handwriting of the people there, and and at the same time I also create and provide to show our voice as well. So like keeping the voice of the people at that moment, and also helping the people to show their voices through art.
And how did you use this later? How does this, when you look back, what was the purpose of doing this? How did you use it later?
I couldn't think about that. Until today I still couldn't find more than half of them, and how to transform it, what to do next. But at the time it was just like everything happened so quickly, everything happened then very fast. So at the time I really wanted to keep that moment with the thought that I had at this time. But I think now when I create artwork, some of them still I'm carrying, some of the memory, some of the text that I see, some of the text and the voices, the testimony I saw is really interesting, and until today it's been carrying me in some of my artwork, maybe not directly, but there is an echo.
Beautiful. Later, you left Myanmar and you lived in Ukraine, where you also had to leave because of war. And you started your life from nothing, I think, in
Again.
Paris again. So actually, you did it twice, start your life from nothing. I wanted to ask you, when you were in Paris or when you were in Ukraine, what, because I think a lot of people nowadays, they lose a lot of things or their life that they used to have. Changes are so imminent, so fast that we have to adapt to changes quickly. And you are just a person who, for me, is an example of really amazing adaptation to circumstances that are very difficult. I wanted to ask you, what did you feel when you were in Paris and in Kiev? What did you lose? What did you feel like you lost?
Yes, when we talk about losing thing, it's a lot. It's not only the physical object, it's also mentally and a lot of things. So yeah, I didn't really talk about much that I after Myanmar, I moved to Ukraine, and I know that a lot of after Ukraine, I have to start my life like second time again. It was also similar situation. So within the 1 year time frame, I have to force the location and I have to start my life again in when I have to move from Ukraine because of what happened between Ukraine and Russia. And I also have to leave a lot of my stuff there, my studio, my artwork, and even the journey of this painting, which I created with the handwriting of the people from Myanmar. Even their journey, like from Myanmar, like I have to smuggle out, and then I took them with me to Ukraine, and even to they were in the I at the beginning I wasn't in Kiev in Ukraine anymore, but the painting was there like for the
Yeah.
first 8 months or 9 months, and then I have to smuggle out then to be with me again. So I didn't talk about it that much, but it was it's not a beautiful journey, but it was it's really interesting, I would say, because um, this journey opened. If I ask why it happened to us, why this kind of thing happened, but instead of that, I try to more focus how I can move and how I can help. There are a lot of moments that I was really, really feeling down and depressed, and I think already experiencing one war in Myanmar is enough, but then second time has happened. Um, but most of the time help me, like instead of that I'm helping myself, like I also it's a two-way. Sometimes I think about it, what I can help for the people I love, and it's also give me energy and is give me strength to get back on my feet again. And that is our there were moments like that, and also there are moments like I'm so tired I cannot carry to anyone and I cannot help. And I admit that if I cannot even carry my own feet and stand on my own ground, it's impossible to help other people. So I have to help myself to be even on my own feet again. So sometimes it's like, one time comes and go, I have to help myself. And then I feel depressed, like I think about to help the people I love, and then it get me strength again. Sometimes I feel so tired, so like it's like repeating, like cycling. So most of the time, that is the two-way which help me to keep going on and to continue life. And
Mm.
for losing things, if you ask, um,
I believe that you lost, like,
yes,
when you lose, I believe when you cannot go back, nothing that was there is there. You kind of also lose your identity, like,
yes,
right?
definitely.
Let's talk
Um,
about identity.
Because before that, I've been trying to recognize as a Myanmar women artist like more than 10 years. So I lose all the thing, all the year, all the effort that I have trying for that, like about 10 year, a decade of trying to be recognized as a women artist, and I have to let it go. So it's also included my career, because when I arrived in Europe, in France, no one know me as an artist, and no one recognized I have no record. I have to start everything a decade of work from zero and again.
Exactly.
And this is the first challenge. So I have to choose the carrier. The carrier is the first thing that you have to think about, because you have the place to pay and food to eat, and that is the first thing. And only after that you have the food and the shelter, and you start thinking about it. Who am I? Am I a Myanmar woman artist? No, I'm not anymore. So what am I? Where I am, the place that I feel don't belong at the beginning, and the language that I cannot speak, and still I cannot speak yet, but I will learn maybe next year. So the identity crisis, and this is also challenging. And the creativity is also challenging because how people like and how people feel art in Europe, in Asia, is completely not the same. So, well, people still feel the same. And when I create art, my art is really rooted about Myanmar culture and history. So, people in Europe, a lot of them, sometimes some people, I would say not a lot, some people doesn't even know Myanmar country has exit. They have never heard of, like, yes, this is a
Unfortunately.
country, we exit. So
It's a big country. It's a big country. How many
yes.
people live there?
So I am the artist talking about this country and the culture, and they don't even hear that country before. So how can I show my artwork and they will feel it and understand it? So it's also a big challenge. And another resistance is like I can change the way I create artwork, what everyone can understand, and but I don't want to change. And this is what I believe. This is what I want to keep talking about it. So the beginning was a lot of challenge in every dimension, every directions
Okay, so
challenge.
how did you start? I want to. What came into your life because you stayed creative? How did you start? What did you do? What did you tell yourself when you were in this moment of doubts? I believe that you have doubts, like every human being have doubts. And maybe you were scared, and maybe you were in disbelief. How am I going to make this life in Paris if my identity? I don't have my identity, and nobody knows me. What was your first idea? What did you do first? I want to give people some inspiration.
Yes. Yes, it's a very interesting moment because I'm doing art because I choose it. And I want to be as an artist and not because I have no choice or I have to do this. That is the only way thing that I can live. Not because of it. There are a lot of options because I already graduated in IT engineering. So when I arrived in Paris, instead of I'm struggling so much, suffering so much, and trying so hard to recognize as an artist, and just put this aside and working as an IT engineering, a bit of programming with the computer, even though it's like the freelancing, it will have more stable life and more income. But I didn't want that life, and and I feel like art and creativity is not because it's the career is even part of me, and I feel like this. Sometimes I realize it, sometimes I don't realize this. It became part of me, and I just love it and enjoy it. Showing a new thing, we just haven't exit anymore, and from the new perspective, sometimes it might be useful if it's bring positive impact. It, it brings something positive to this world. I think it's really also meaningful and beautiful. It's true that I might be pain in the ass to try that, but I think it's worth keep fighting for because very few Myanmar people and Myanmar artists could have a chance to escape from that place, and within our artists, and only some of them could continue as an artist career, as a main career. A lot of people have to choose to work with something else as a second work, which is paid for the bait. So when I have a chance and I can keep create artwork, and I think not a lot of people are talking about Myanmar. I think it's really important. So with my art, and I wanted to create and I want to show it, and I think it's important.
So
I
what?
will try to keep resist as long as I can. I don't know how long it's gonna.
Okay, so when you arrived to Paris, what did you do first to keep going as an artist? Because nobody knew you, and what was this? breakthrough? What was this moment where you really broke the ice?
The first 6 months when I arrived here, I just feeling like a loser, just staying indoor and super duper depressed. And I was questioning myself, like, why am I here? Why not in Myanmar? And I was completely loser. I don't do art, I don't create, I don't even draw a line or a dot, a single dot. I couldn't create at all. I was really, really blocked and really depressed. And after 6 months, I was saying myself like, that must be the reason like you were here, and maybe you should do something. If I cannot create for myself, what I can do? So at the time, I tried to do some performance in the street. Where is the crowded? And I was thinking, where is the crowded place in Paris? What gonna be the
Sacré-Cœur.
a lot of people. So I'm gonna go there. I'm gonna do a performance using my body, and I'm gonna do some performance art. I have never done performance art before, and I don't like being in the public when there are a lot of people. But I couldn't paint, but I tried to do something creative, which is performance using my body. So it's like the mix of protest and performance. So when I say performance art, we don't need a permission to the government, and I can go there alone and I can do as I feel. I can talk about it. I can protest. I can have performance art, have protest, and I don't need a permission. And the worst thing could happen, and maybe the policeman arrive and yeah, go, 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 and you cannot do this kind of thing here. So this might be the worst thing, or maybe they take me to the police station. But if you do the protest in here in Paris, you need a permission from the government. They need a specific date and location. Often they decided um, um, where there are not a lot of people, or if there are a lot of people and you were like, you cannot really see this is the group of Myanmar people. You know, you were just disappear in the giant, major groups of people or protest. So that's why I have started using my body and create a performance. And this also bring me, you know, open a few door of my creativity to be keep continued, and also is really break that moment. And after that, I could slowly can create again.
What came out of this creative instance, this creative act of courage, I think, because it was in Sacré-Cœur. It was,
Yes,
I remember, and our audience,
and
everybody can
also in
watch
front of the Louvre.
in front of the Louvre, exactly, and you can watch it on YouTube if you want, because I think there is a beautiful video made out of it. I remember you were asking people something. You were
I
asking
was
people.
just giving the poetic note. I just gave them, and some people doesn't want to take.
It was about what? This poetry.
Not poetry, actually, the handwriting and the text of the people that I collected in the street of Myanmar. So I rewrote it and I giving and sharing back in Paris.
And did you tell them what it was, or they didn't know?
Um, I don't think so. They
Oh,
don't
okay,
really know that.
they didn't know.
But they know what is written. They know there is a Myanmar text and
Oh, okay.
that is the country.
Oh, beautiful. And it was silent. We couldn't see your face, and they couldn't see who you are. We were just
Yes.
handing it. It's a beautiful, art performance, right? Art performance that
Mm.
you can watch on YouTube. By the way, you have a beautiful YouTube channel now. I recommend everybody to go and watch it. It is very, very popular in Myanmar now, and it's going to be very popular also in English, but you have just started it not a long time ago. It's so well done. Everybody who's listening to us, I really recommend you go there, and for some inspiration and for some beauty. I want to know how your life looks now, because we have gone through this amazing journey that could be a movie too. It could be a movie, um, not even one, maybe two. I would like you to tell us how does your life look like, because to be honest, it's for me it's stunning. I'm really impressed by what you have done in such a short time in Paris and in Europe, everywhere in the world. So tell us how from zero, from scratch, from landing in Europe without identity. I mean, you had your identity, but nobody knew your identity. You rebuilt it, and so tell me now what happened.
I think every time when I depress and there is a problem in my life, and I always always stood back again with the creativity all the time. Sometimes it's small creativity, sometimes big creativity, every different form of creativity. Sometimes it might be the performance, as we mentioned before. Sometimes it might be a painting. Sometimes, like, I'm redesigning my website, like the visual design, and also like this YouTube thing. And there was a big depression, so I wanted to continue connection with the people from Myanmar, and I've been quite silent for a lot of time, so I feel like I'm losing people. And it doesn't matter because I can keep continuing and living like this, like fading and disappearing and getting far and far away from them. But by being active on the social media and like creating something which is like a pop culture using YouTube. And another thing is, in Myanmar, we don't really learn art and politics in the government school, and very, very little. And even the curriculum is decided by the military. And so I feel when for an artist, I need to see a lot and I need to feel a lot. So I go to a lot of museums and a lot of places. When I go there and I have the chance, I was feeling this, I was looking at this. How about for the people in Myanmar who doesn't have a chance, who still wanted to look at it? Because for the famous painting like Mona Lisa and Vincent van Gogh, you can find millions and hundreds of painting about them. But how about the hidden museum in Paris? Like, how about like the last exhibition I went was like Henry Matisse's daughter, and she also did the painting in part of his father. And also like there are a lot of paintings in museum which is not popular but still really interesting, and it will bring a lot of creativity in your life. And this is which is really missing the education and also the art education in Myanmar. So what I could do, the least thing I can do is when I go there, because I'm not going there to do a YouTube, I'm gonna be there anyway. So the only extra thing is I shoot it and I share it back. This is the only like extra step for me. So I try to do this, and it also bring me another's creativities, and it's really really helpful. And right now my life is what I wanted to give the message is, in Myanmar, when people think about it, if you're in exile, if you decided to against what is happening, the situations, and a lot of people were scared to take this path because they believe if you are living in exile, you're gonna be a waiter or waitresses and your life gonna be shit. And you're gonna be a failure and you won't have the as successful life as inside the country. Like you forget about your voice, you forget about your rights and just living um under the under these people, like doing what make them happy just to survive, losing your voice and everything. This life gonna be still better because you will have a food and shelter, you will have your career and a thing what you think. But if you decided to do outside of this, you will have a freedom, but your life's gonna be shit. This is
Belief.
yeah, belief, and a lot
This
of
is what people
things talk
believe, and that's
about
why
it.
they don't want to leave the country.
Yes, and also, yeah, I'm well confirmed like it's not the easy journey. It's a lot of challenging. It's a lot of difficulty. That's true. But at the same time, what I can do is I wanted to show I'm not have the good life, but I try my best And even though I'm living in exile as a female artist, and if you are really, really following your dreams and creativity, keep continue and keep going, keep working, keep knocking that door, and you will have a decent life. You won't be a failure.
Mm. True. Okay, I'm gonna say it because maybe not everybody knows. You are an award-winning Myanmar artist based in Paris, and you are a recipient of UN Minority Artist Award. That happened after coming to Europe. You practice, you blend traditional Burmese fabrics, archival photography, stamps, and vintage newspapers into layered collages and textiles-based paintings that explore the lives and resilience of Myanmar women that we can enjoy, we can buy, and that we can enjoy also to see it in your gallery. And also your work confronts gender inequality and cultural minority. And your work we can also see in the collection of the British Museum, and you have been featured in Time, in BBC and other international media. Through your narratives, woven narratives, you transform cultural materials into powerful visual testimonials of identity and resilience. So I just wanted to say it because you are too modest to actually talk about yourself, and this is all what happened when this young beautiful woman decided to leave her country and start over in Europe. You didn't know that it's going to be in Paris. You started wherever you could. It was in Ukraine, and then you just continue and keep going. Chuu, what do you want to say to a person who is listening right now, who is losing everything in his life or in her life, and feels like there is no hope, and feels like they're losing their identity, that what they have been doesn't exist anymore? Maybe they lost a close person, maybe they lost their work, maybe they lost their family, maybe they had to move, maybe they also had to leave the country where there was war. Maybe these are your people in Myanmar. What would you like to do? What would you like to tell these people? What would you tell her?
Yeah, even myself, I still have a lot of problems until today. But every time when I have the problem, sometimes a big problem, sometimes it's really bigger than a big problem, which can even threaten your life. And I have that moment as well, or threaten your existence as well. I wanted to. There are a lot of things that I try to solve this moment. I will say creativity, but more than the creativity is what I think about. When I think about it, I wanted to answer like creativity and keep creating and keep moving, but the other thing is like there are in life there are the things I try to group it. I always, when I look up to the problems, like I was asking, can you change it? If you can change it, in which part that you will be participate? You will put your actions in which part? What kind of thing that you can be part of if you can change? So try it. Maybe small, maybe big, but it doesn't matter. If you think that it can change it, put your action in it. And there are a problem that you cannot change. You can do as much as you want. It is out of your control. You doesn't have that strong enough power to change it. Then you have to think about it another way. So so you have to think about how will you react and how will you respond to that problem, because it's so huge and you're the size of a mountain and I'm the size of the, I don't know, maybe the rice grain, probably small. So definitely I cannot move the whole mountain with this rice grains. So in this problem, in this way, with this out of my control, and I try to adopt myself and I try to change myself. When I adopt and change myself, it doesn't mean like I try to forget who I am, completely a different person. It's not like that. I still remember my root. I still remember what is my value. I still remember where I came from and what are the bags that I'm carrying with me. And but in the best way, and I responded it. This is the only thing that I can control, I guess. But it's not only about politics. In life, sometimes losing people, losing friends. I cannot stop losing people and losing friends, and including death as well, and including losing friends, relationships, and and this kind of thing I really cannot control. It's out of my control. The only thing what I control is how I will react, how I will be my emotion, where I will focus, what I will do next. It is the only thing I can do. And in the other way, contrary, if there is a steam hope, even though it's a small hope that you know this thing can change, you can be part of it. Even though it's just a small action, doesn't matter. It's meaningful for me. I will be part of it in that movement.
Thank you so much, Chuu. I think this is a very beautiful message of hope for people who are starting their new life. And I believe that everybody has a purpose. Everybody has a purpose, and you beautifully said it, that you start from your values. You remember your values, and from your values and your creativity and your skills, you can construct a new life. And actually, life, I understand that life for me is always changing, and I understood that nothing is forever. And I'm actually, as the longer I live on this planet, the much I understand that we are going to reinvent ourselves and lose our identity several times in one life, because this is how the pace of technology is going. This is the pace of life. This is the pace of the system. So if the skill of adapting to new circumstances is something, it's like a muscle, and the faster you understand that it's not against you, that it's actually for you, the better and the easier and the softer and the more creative your life is going to be. It's been such a pleasure, to talking to you today. Thank you for listening to You Got a Vocab podcast. You can find it on Spotify and rate it, and also send it to somebody that needs to hear it, needs a message of hope, somebody who lost something and lost someone and needs to start over. And today also we have a lovely collaboration with Chuu. Anybody who's going to decide to do coaching on change with me is going to receive a beautiful painting from your new edition, new collection of paintings. You can see these paintings in my bio. We are going to put the link in my bio. The bio is also in the link of Chuu, and you can write me a personal message if you want a coaching with me to change something, to make a change, to start over, to create something new. If you don't know where you're going, if you have lost everything, and this is the moment for you. And this is only for 3 first people that we have it. So it was such a pleasure to talk to you. It's not for everyone, but it's just for you. Have a lovely evening, and thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I think there's a few little comment. Can I continue?
Sure, let's read it.
Yeah. And you need art. Thank you so much. You watching and supporting. And I live in France and I speak good English. Actually, I try to have a better English, but the beginning I couldn't learn English from the school very well. So mostly like I learn English from here and there. Only after maybe using English, like after I moved here, I taking the little class and mostly like watching movie. I have to try improve. I still don't have confidence with my English, but thank you. So for Myanmar people who's watching, if you're not taking a private English school or whatever, don't don't feel sad because I didn't take it. I still don't have the confidence for speaking English, but that is the language that I have to use. So it just happened. And Yimon, thanks for sharing and thanks for the comment. So, what has been the biggest resource that is very helpful in your most challenging times living abroad, and how can others also accept it? I think the biggest challenge is challenging time. I think challenging times will be constantly a lot in if you leave the country. So even if you live inside the country, there is also a challenge. If you decided to live outside the country, there is also a challenge. So you just have to pick what challenge that you want to face. In my experience, I still have a lot of problems and challenging. I still questioning because I choose the art. The best thing about choosing art, it has very, very full freedom. You will be happiest person creating art because your hobby became your career. So this is the most beautiful things I feel that for the in a one person career. But the challenging part is it's not stable. The income you can't rely on. If you work in the company or maybe working somewhere, like after you work 10 hour or 30 hour a day, like 30 hour a week, and you can expect I will have this amount of salary at the end of the week. But if you work 10 hour, 30 hour as an artist, no one care. At the end of the week, you're not even sure how much money that you will have. So that is the most challenging. Until today, I'm challenging. To fight for that is I try to keep another education and another things at the backup as a plan B. But it didn't really sit in the screen in the social media. I didn't talk about it. People see that I make exhibition. People see I create art. But on the backup, I also keeping my study, which I take my degree for 6 years, and I still trying to do some polish. And I'm tell myself, okay, one day if I have no place to live, no food to eat, I will grab it and I will try to survive, as the very at the very last part. So on the side, I also prepare myself for the survival kit. It's just the education. So for the other people, if you really, really think that you're a very, very good artist, you can live with this. I send you all the good strength and go for it. But and always don't forget to keep the backup. It's make you feel safe. Maybe you will never need to open this box, but it's better that box is full. So at least it's give you a feel safe and confident, like emotional, safety. I know one day if I cannot do that, maybe I can do something else. So at least I feel a bit safe. I don't feel hopeless and like, what should I do? Should I sell my kidney? No, it's a joke.
Actually, it's interesting that you say it because I have always admired you that you did what you loved and it was fine. You were always fun. You were never lacking actually anything. Life was always providing for you, and there was always something that happened, and you could always do your art. So I think life supports people who have courage and definitely people who have a mission, because it's a mission also. And
Yeah.
art is so important for all of us. It's so important. So if you have a talent and if you don't use it, you're going to lose it. That's just how it is. If you don't use your talent and you don't have the courage to use it, you're gonna lose it and you will not receive more. But if you have a talent, you use it and you develop it, you receive another talent, because now you have a talent, you created your website. Now another talent, you are doing exhibitions. Another talent, you speak in public because you spoke even in UN. You speak on podcasts, you speak in public in the events, so you actually develop more and more brands. You have a talent to later to also sell your art because you have a gallery online and everybody can go and check it out and buy your paintings. So we slowly learn on the way, right? When we follow
Yes.
our calling.
And I also try to work every job as a very connected to the creativity or visual part. So now recently I started YouTube just for fun. For me, just a little escape because my everyday life is full of like intense, like feel it, like empty it, do research, making like heavy things. So YouTube is a little escape. But what I found is I learning a new skill which is called editing, like editing the video and stuff. So even me, I was telling myself, okay, one day if I cannot live as an artist, I can also do
Yeah.
some editing for the other people. Like now it's the social media is everywhere, so I can make the editing for the YouTube for other video and also maybe some Instagram editing. So I was thinking like, oh, I can be a freelance video editor and maybe not professionally. I don't take it like a really high price, but a little bit cheaper than the professional price, but still beautiful and decent editing video. So I said, oh, I still can survive. If I don't want to go back to the programming, and if I can survive as an painting, I still can do the editing. So it's also a good part.
You're gaining more talents as you go. That's definitely it. Yeah. True. It was lovely to have you, and thank you for this generous sharing. I hope that everybody's question was answered, and thank you everybody for listening.
Thank you for
And remember
listening.
to rate our podcast. And see you soon. Good night.
Thank
See you
you.
soon. Thank
Thank
you,
you all.
darling. See
Bye.
you,
Good night.
Mingalava. Ta-da.